everyone, I'm just popping on quickly to do my first video for Junk Journal July. Now I know that July doesn't start until tomorrow, but the idea is we pop on, show you our idea, and then it gives you some inspiration when you do your own prompt tomorrow if you decide to. So the prompt for the first day, for day one, is bees. So I've cut out and printed off some things that I can pop into my herbology journal that are bee related. So first of all, I have these gorgeous bee pictures that there actually came 9 to a page, and I cropped it down to my 4 favourites, and I'm going to use those as journaling cards, and bees will go with any floral journal really well, and the herbology journal, they'll go really well with that too. So I thought that's what I would do, and I'm going to just round the corners, and I haven't done any distress inking on them because they look as if they've been, they're printed to look like that, and then on the back I did print a faint pattern. I mean, you could still distress ink that if you wanted to, so they'll just go in and be popped in as journaling cards. This was a card I found in a bee kit that I have, and I was going to, what I did, I cut out the 4 different bees on it, and I have cut them into 4 little circles to pop inside the herbology journal, just as little bits of interest here and there. The other piece of the card I'm going to use as a journal card as well, and I'm going to make it a nice tall one. And because it doesn't have any of the printing on the back of it, I will just distress the edges of that one. I ought to have done the corners first, really, didn't I? I won't go too mad on it, because I may actually turn it into a tag even. And if you wanted to, you can just do this with your distress ink. I haven't got a lot on this pad at the minute, so it's not, it won't go too mad, but yeah, I may just leave it like that for now, because I could actually turn it into a tag if I wanted to, couldn't I? So that's that. Then this is another little bee from a kit that I had. It was it's a 12 by 12 pack, and I had one sheet that's covered in these bees, and I love them. And they'll look great as a bee that's on one of these. I love these things. I absolutely love them. And what they are is, I call them boingers. They're not really called boingers. I'm sure they must have a far more professional name than that. But what you do, you put your, whatever it is you're going to have boinging about, onto one end, like this. You glue it on, it's double-sided, and then you'll take the end off there and stick that to your page, and then your bee will, every time you flick it, which is every 2 minutes when it's anywhere near me, it'll do a little flutter look. Love that, absolutely love it. And you can get these on Amazon, but I can't remember what they're called. They're used a lot in card making. I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me that they're a proper name for them. It's not bingly boingers anyway. I'm sure that, that's just me. Then this little page here was a freebie from Victoria Designs. So I am a subscriber of Victoria Designs. I am a follower, and here is, I'm on her mailing list. And if you wanted to join the mailing list, she does quite often send out freebies, and there's nothing more to it. She just sends out freebies occasionally. So it is victoriadesigns.com/sign up if you wanted to do that. And she does loads of different things. One freebie I had that was really good was a dragon pocket and a hidden paper clip from it. Brilliant. And she does the most beautiful, beautiful things. So this set here was from there, and I printed it off and cut it out. So this you could use as a pocket, as it would even look good on the front of a journal, wouldn't it? And then we've got those two little bees there. This is a pocket that you just fold the corners on and glue to your page like so. So it will be going into my herbology journal. The herbology journal that I've printed off to use is actually from Bee Happy Stationery. I will put the links to Bee Happy Stationery's shops and channels in my description box, because yeah, well worth a visit. She does lovely things too. I mean, the herbology journal is lovely. So that will be a pocket in my herbology journal. Then I've got this little plate. I could write anything on there, couldn't I? I've got this little card, which again I did print on the back of it, and then I've got a circle which can be used as a tuck spot, as a card to write on, and then this is another pocket which again just needs folding and gluing to the page, and we're done. And then another thing that I had was, ooh, there we go, was this page, and I thought what I could do with it, rather than cut it up and have it as journaling cards, my plan is to fold it up so that it looks like one journaling card, but then you can fold it out and you know, you've got quite a lot of writing space. That's my plan. So we do have a little bit extra there. I can cut that down there, it won't hurt if I cut that bit down like this. Do you know, I've got literally dozens of pairs of scissors, and I always go back to this pair, and for some reason they're not cutting at the minute. Trust me, can't you? And then decide, I think I'm going to go with this one as the front to look like make it look like a journal card, and then I'm going to fold it like this, see? And you think you've got a journaling card, but it actually opens up to be an A4-ish sheet of paper to write on. You can write on the inside, you can write on that bit, and then you've got your choice of 2 journaling cards there. So that's what I'm going to do with that, and that is going to go into my herbology journal. Just need to put that bit straight. And if you don't like printables and you know and that sort of stuff, you can draw your own bees. Now I am rubbish at drawing, I have to say I'm rubbish at drawing, but I can draw a bee. If you want just a plain, you know, I'd just do a bee like this. No, hold on a minute, I've got a big lump on the end of my pencil. I'm going to end up drawing a buffalo at that rate. So I just draw sort of an oval shape like this. My pencil's bust now. And then you'd put your stripes on, you'd colour it yellow, you put your stripes on like so. You could put a little sting if you wanted to. You could give it some legs if you wanted to, a little eye there, and then a couple of pairs of wings. Well, just 2 wings I'm going to do. I mean, it's nothing special, but if you didn't want to use printables, you can draw your own little bee, colour it in yellow, put some black stripes on it, put a few veins in the wings if you want it to be a bit more detailed. And if you are better at art than I am, you can do a much nicer, you know, more detailed one. So yeah, that was my first video for Junk Journal July. The prompt was bees, and I hope you enjoyed that and got some inspiration from it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.